tire to compensate for the bullet wound. So those are the advantages that I saw that helped the Northern Army hold off the Southern Army at this Battle of Franklin. Here's some interesting facts that they shared during the tour. 2,500 soldiers were actually killed. There were 7,000 total wounded. They said that the bodies of the wounded and the dead were so high that when some soldiers were killed, they weren't able to actually fall over. The bodies held them up. Very, very grisly detail. The battle was close quarters, as I said, and in the Civil War area, when you fired a musket, the gunpowder would create a cloud of smoke, so it was very difficult to see. Additionally, this took place at 5:15 on November 30th. This is in the winter. It's already dark. The thing that they told us most about in the tour was this was a very barbaric fight. It wasn't civilized like when we fought the Revolutionary War against the British. You stand up, you fire. If people died, more people came in behind. You stand up, you fire. Then they would run each other with bullets with bayonets. This was very barbaric. There was a charge by the Confederate the South called Pickett's Charge in the Battle of Gettysburg. Most people have heard about Pickett's Charge. It turns out this charge at Franklin was actually bigger, wounded more people, was longer. So Pickett's Charge had 12,500. Franklin had 20,000 soldiers. Pickett's Charge covered 1 mile. They had to walk across 1 mile of open ground. 2 miles at Franklin. At Pickett's Charge, they had 150 cannons firing on the north first before they advanced across the line, before the field. At Franklin, they only had 6 guns. And then they marched across that 2 miles of open terrain. At Pickett's Charge, the only thing that was really protecting the Northern Army was a low stone wall that they had to get over. At Franklin, we talked about there was 8-foot-high abandoned entrenchments. They dug up those trenches and they stuck brush and trees and everything they could with stuff. 6,500 casualties at Pickett's Charge, 7,000 casualties at Franklin. This is a boy, his name was Todd Carter. He was 500 yards from his own home. He was a Southern soldier, and he grew up there, and he was basically bringing up the morale, saying, come on, boys, come with me. That's my home. We're almost there. Shot, not killed, but gravely wounded, and they weren't able to recover him because it was dark until after the fighting was over the next morning. The family who lived in the house dragged their son back into the house, and he died actually. There was also a Union lieutenant from the north. His name was Arthur MacArthur. He was riding a horse. He was an officer. He was shot in the chest, on the shoulder, fell off his horse. He got up, drew his saber, started approaching the enemy, was shot in the chest. Ended up stabbing whoever shot him. That person actually got 1 more shot off, shot him in the leg. He was shot 3 times, yet he survived, which is pretty miraculous given the hospital conditions and medical technology. He would later go on to father a son named Douglas MacArthur. So in conclusion, I would just say, whenever you travel somewhere, try to learn something about the location you're at. There's often some very interesting history. I learned a lot during this trip, and I'm very glad that we took it and that we learned about the battle. Thank you.